Welcome to Parshas Vayakhel. It should be Refuah Shlema, Yocheved Fredo, Baschana Esther, and Mordechai Ben Sarah. It should be a schus for Zahal in all the areas that they are fighting, and it should be a schus for myself, my family, and all of Klal Yisrael. The Chofetz Chaim once visited the city of Charnikov and heard about a Jewish businessman who kept his factory open on Shabbos. He even employed Jewish workers. Disturbed by this desecration of Shabbos, the Chofetz Chaim approached the man and urged him to close his factory in honor of the holy day. So the factory owner, however, was unconvinced. I make a profit of 4,000 rubles, and you expect me to give that up? So the Chofetz Chaim gently but firmly responded, your calculations are incorrect. If you continue to desecrate Shabbos, you may lose your entire factory. The Pasuk says in Parshas Vayakhel, Sheshis Yamim Taseh Melacha, Uvyom Hashvi Yeh Lachem Kodesh Shabbos, Shabboson LaHashem. The Torah is telling you that Sheshis Yamim Taseh Melacha, 6 days work shall be done. So if one properly observes Shabbos, Hashem will ensure that his livelihood is provided during the remaining 6 days. However, if one desecrates Shabbos, he may find himself without work the other 6 days of the week. The owner scoffed at this warning. A Pasuk in Chumash is going to shut down my factory just because I refuse to close for 24 hours a week? Sometime later, the Bolsheviks invaded Russia and confiscated all the private factories, leaving the Jewish businessman with nothing. He barely managed to escape with his life. At that moment, he recalled the Chofetz Chaim's words, and with deep regret admitted, now I see how true the words of the righteous are. The power of a single Pasuk in Chumash has indeed shut down my factory. This episode reminds us that Shabbos observance is not merely a religious obligation, but is a source of blessing and sustenance. The kior in the Mishkan was made by Bezalel from brass mirrors of the women. This kior was used by the Kohanim to wash their hands and feet before performing the avodah in the Mishkan. Rabbi Edmund Nace explains that a mirror is a deeply personal and precious item for a woman, as it allows a person to focus solely on their own reflection to the exclusion of all others. A mirror, in essence, represents self-awareness, self-focus, and even self-indulgence. Yet the women willingly gave up their mirrors, items that symbolize personal interest and individual identity, for the sake of the Mishkan, the dwelling place of Hashem. In doing so, they demonstrated selflessness and a willingness to prioritize holiness over personal vanity. Rav Yedidya Zilberman, in a sefer Chidusha Yedidya Halevi, asks a question. When the Torah commands Bnei Yisrael to give Terumah for the Mishkan, it says, Kechu me'itechem Terumah laHashem. Take from yourself a donation for Hashem. This phrasing is different from what we find in other places in the Torah. For example, in Shemos, Perek Chaf Hey, V'yikchu li Terumah, and they shall take from me a donation. In Shemos, Perek Chaf Zayin, it says, V'yikchu elecha shemen, and they shall take to you oil. But why here, when does the Torah say, Kechu mi'itchem, emphasizing taking from yourselves? So Rav Zilberman explains that giving Terumah is not just about donating the gold and the silver and other materials. It also requires a person to work on himself, refining his character and improving his midos. So the Torah's wording Kechu me'itchem teaches that one must not only give externally, but also offer himself, his growth, his self-improvement, and his personal dedication to Hashem. This week's Parsha speaks about the mitzvah of Shabbos. One of the issues that arise on Shabbos is timers. The Gemara in Shulchan Aruch established that one may begin a permitted action on Friday near Shkia, near sunset, even if it continues on to Shabbos. A related case discusses placing wheat in a watermill before Shabbos. Rava prohibits this, arguing that the loud noise denigrates Shabbos and appears as if the owner is operating it. Rav Yosef, though, permits it. As long as it was set in motion before Shabbos, one is okay. So this machlokes leads to a discussion regarding timers for noisy devices. Based on the Ramah, some discourage their use absent significant need. Rav Moshe Feinstein was particularly opposed to timers for a slightly different reason. He feared that Shabbos would become overly mechanized by the timers, undermining its sanctity. It would become like a day of chol. Everything could be placed on a timer and be just like a weekday. At most, he permitted timers for lights, as this was an established practice. So despite these stringent opinions that we've glanced over, the accepted halacha today allows timers for various electrical appliances, provided they enhance rather than detract from Shabbos. Have a wonderful Shabbos.